Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul, along with my co-host Kevin Carter. I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. Got the usual Mr. Paul Miggity Mac. Mr. Mac, how you doing this evening, sir?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Recovering from Halloween. It was a fun night out with the kids. I had my first old white man situation. My elbow was hurting me a little bit at work the other day, and I slapped on a copper fit. Felt like that was one of those little copper fit elbow sleeve.
Right? No, man, come on.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt no more. Brett Favre won't steer you wrong unless it involves making donations to charitable organizations in Louisiana. So yeah, we're chilling. We're good though. We're good. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Man. Crisp, cool outside. Ready for another week, my man.
Hey, I saw the pictures, man. Your costume was great. Niece was adorable. Seemed like a good time, man.
What you didn't see is the back half of that costume. The leaves don't cover the whole thing, so there was a little. There was much Moana than you wanted to see there.
Got you. Hey, you know what? That's what Halloween's for, man. You just dress up and
that's it.
This is stretching your wildest imagination. Well, Paul, I'll let you introduce Mr. Saul and let you take over here. I'm glad to have him on the show, but I'll let you take over and get the proper introduction.
Yeah, you've been having a bunch of guests come on the last few weeks, so I figured I'd reach in my bag and grab one of my buds here from we go a ways back. He actually got me kind of on a podcast many years ago, back in the day. Got my feet wet a little bit in this whole thing, but it's my good friend here. He's the one of the co-hosts of the Get It How You Live podcast with a U, available on all streaming platforms where you get your podcast. The self-proclaimed Podfather, the Mr. Saul Urena.
Oh man, hey guys, welcome, or thank you for having me. Welcome. Give me a break. I'm welcoming myself here. Jeez. No, man, thanks. Yeah, I'm one of three co-hosts on Get It How You Live with a U. It's available on pretty much every streaming podcast network app you could find. The only thing we don't have is video yet, but I always keep saying we're working towards that. I'm just like really lazy, and it's tough because I'm pretty sure you guys, with having like regular jobs, day-to-day jobs and everything, and then trying to squeeze this in as well. It's pretty tough, but we got to get it done, and you guys are getting it done. So thanks for having me.
So I can tell you, man, like the transition from video it took me a while too, man, because I was doing audio for like 5 years and I was just so used to it. And so I finally just made a transition to just video because there's so much more avenues to get your content out there. So I definitely, man, hey.
Dude, you're 100% correct. 100% right on that.
So I'm hoping that the move to video will be transitioning sooner than later, but I understand it does take time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, hey, good to have you on, man. I know you saw different avenue, but I heard from Paul that you're a big sports guy. So I want to tap in, man. Tell me some of your favorite teams, who you root for, who you like.
Let's So Paul's right. Funny enough, and I forgot to mention this right when we started. I started in sports radio. I used to be on a show on 96.9 FM, The Game, the Orlando station here. I'm not sure if you guys still listen to that or not. I listen every now and then, but I used to be on a show called The Benchwarmers. And then from that point on, I went into Valencia's East Campus when they started their own kind of little radio station, their internet radio station. And I used to help out with the programming and had a sports podcast and a sports show on that as well. I big sports guy. I'm a big Jets fan. They're like the family team. Like I had to like the Jets, and I'm okay with that. It could be a lot worse teams to like. But as a kid, I remember I was an Eagles fan, so I'm like, in the closet, Eagles fan, Jets fan, every Sunday and whatnot. Big Knicks fan, big Yankees fan. If we're going to NHL, I'm going with my Rangers. I know Paul over there is an Islanders, I think.
That's not me. I'm a Rangers guy. Come on now.
Oh, are you? Oh, Jesus Christ, thank God. I don't know why. I thought you were an Islanders fan.
That's your boy Fox.
I know Fox is, but hey, you never know. And because I know you're a Mets fan too, so that's
family team. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, bro. Anyways, I stick with my Rangers for hockey. Liverpool for Premier League, and I guess just European or international soccer. Orlando City, hometown team here. Got to support them. They just won their first playoff game, their first playoff match on Monday, so that was pretty cool. Best out of 3 series, which whatever. I think that's a little weird, but that's for another time. I don't know how the MLS does their playoffs thing. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, I kind of try to stick them all back here, but a big Barkley fan from back in the day. Let me move out the camera here because I got my Barkley jersey. I got my Yankees jersey, Jorge Posada. Got my Walt Frazier autographed jersey back there. Man, I think that's pretty much it. Huge Knicks fan. I think that's. I've got the game on in the other room right now, so I've got the NBA League Pass. Me and my cousin kind of split that. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I can relate. I'm a big. I got the NBA League Pass. I'm watching the Heat and the Nets right now playing.
There you go.
My team just got stumped by the Clippers. If you haven't know, I'm a big Orlando Magic fan, season ticket holder for the Magic, and they're on the up and up, but they're on this long road trip that's brutal right now. And
you really think they're on the up and up?
I think so.
You really think they're on the up and up?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really. What I know, yeah. I'm about to derail this whole show real quick right now. I'm so sorry. Hold on. What? And I need to know this because it's funny. I was, you know what? Shout out to Matt the Stat guy. You see the sport.
Love that guy. Love that guy.
But we were talking about the Magic just either earlier today or yesterday. We've got a thread going with my other buddy Brock. But I'm interested to hear what makes you think they're on the up and up right now. What about the Magic is on the up and up?
Well, considering that their starting point guard was out with 25 games, they started off 5-25. When he came back, they won about barely over 500 games. So they dealt with a lot of injury the past few years. It's been the healthiest that they ever been. They also had a 10-win improvement compared to the year before. So I definitely think that a play-in is possible for this team. At least a play-in to where they compete for a playoff spot, at least from that 8th to 9th to 10th range. They just got to stay healthy. That's the main thing. But this start to the season is brutal. They have a lot of road games. They're on the West Coast trip right now. They got to come through in November where they play a lot of teams that's in the playoffs. But the rest of the season, probably near to like March and April, games are pretty winnable. Right now, I do believe that they do have a lot of talent, 1 to 8 to 9 to 10. Very deep roster. They just still trying to learn. They got a lot of young talent, and we just making a decision this year. So it's going to be figuring out who's going to stay, who's going to go. But obviously, we're building around Paolo and Franz, and I think there's a start there. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see
what happens.
Those are some very Orlando Magic fan takes right there. I'll tell you that. Because I don't think you guys have depth at all. I'm interested to see what you guys are going to end up doing with Jonathan Isaac still. I mean, I don't even know what's going on. Franz Wagner, I think last season, that's as good as it's going to get. I don't think he gets better than averaging 14 a game for you guys. And Paolo this year, right now, starting off, I don't think he's hit 20 points yet this year in any game that he's played. And everyone's freaking out about it.
Yeah, he's struggling right now.
I mean, on your point guard, I'll ask you this, and this is, as a Knicks fan, because years and years of just being made fun of and, horrible teams and just horribly ran franchise. So I feel like I could look at the game objectively without just trying to be a homer for the Knicks. But do you really what do you think you guys have a guard better than Emmanuel Quickley on your roster right now?
Markelle Fultz.
You really think Markelle Fultz is better than Emmanuel Quickley?
Yeah.
Have you looked at the numbers?
I have. But I feel like
Emmanuel Quickley's numbers are better coming off the bench. And Markelle Fultz is a starter?
Right. But as I told you, they started 5-20. When this guy came back, they made a run and almost made it to the play-in.
No, he's back now, and they stink.
No, I did not. No, I just said disrespectful. Disrespectfully, I disagree. I don't think Emmanuel Quickley is better than anyone of the guards. Those two guards. He might be better than Jalen Suggs. I give you that, but respectfully, I disagree.
He's better than Cole. I know he's better than Cole Anthony. He's way better than Cole Anthony. And those Tims that he tried to do in the dunk contest, which I hope that never happens ever again in my life. That's disrespectful to the city of New York. Let's see. And no, Markelle Fultz better than Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
He is.
I don't believe it. But all right,
sure.
We'll get back to whatever. I'm sorry, I had to stop it right there because I can't. It's just always funny to me, I run into Magic fans, and to hear them talk about the Magic like I used to talk about the Knicks when we had Eddie Curry on the team. It's great, but I digress.
No, for sure. No, listen, and you can Paul can attest to you. I'm probably one of the most level-headed Magic fans you'll meet. So I'm just.
It's true. I mean, notice how he told you he's shooting 8, 9, 10 range. He's not.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But it's still more realistic expectations than they're going to come out and they're going to win the conference, or they're going to be a whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in the Eastern Conference, you get hot at the right time. You could sneak into those little playing games. The playoff is kind of weird in the NBA.
I just failed to see that a team that won 10 games that was close to the play-in last year, they regress with the talent they have and Isaac's coming back. I just failed to not agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? But
no.
We'll see. This is why we play the games for sure, man. This is why we play the games.
NBA's back, boys. NBA's back.
I don't think the Magic are better than Charlotte. I don't think. And I hate to. I don't think the Wizards are that good, and I think the Wizards have better pieces than the Magic do.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, Jordan Poole's better than any guard on the team, and I hate to say that because it's Jordan Poole. But
did you just throw the Washington Wizards out there better than the Magic?
I did. Just that's how it is, man. I'm telling you.
We're gonna move on to the topic because
I don't think the Magic. I don't think the Magic cracked the top 10 in the East.
The way you just threw the Wizards out there, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jordan.
Who
would you take Jordan Poole or Markelle Fultz on the Magic,
bro?
If you had a chance, if you had a choice, if they gave you a choice, Jordan Poole or Markelle Fultz, who are you taking?
Listen, it's not the point of that. It says how the build up of our team. The build of our team. Don't get me wrong. Jordan Poole is a fantastic player, but we're just talking about Jordan Poole. And you just gave me Jordan Poole, Mark, and Kyle Kuzma that they're gonna be better than the Magic. Nah, bro. We'll move on to the next topic. Let's go to the NFL.
remember this day. It's on video. Remember this day. It's on video. All right. What I said right now. When we get to the end of the season, the end of the NBA season, bring me back on. All right. That's all I ask.
No doubt. For sure. But see, this is what's funny, man. Here's what's funny, man. Because Knicks fans are outlandish like that. And it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. So we'll keep it pushing. Knicks fans are delusional. Yeah, let's push them. All right, let's get into NFL Week 8. Let's give it in. Hey, give me a movie title to describe Week 8. And I'm going to start with our guest. Saul, what's the movie title that you can throw out and think that describes this Week 8 of the NFL season?
You know what? I'll go cliche here and just go Little Giants. As a Jets fan, I'm going to have to go Little Giants. Because that's what they were this week. Little Giants.
You're lucky Icebox didn't play.
Tommy DeVito ran it in, and Giants fans went absolutely apeshit. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! Oh, Tommy DeVito, give me a break! Give me a break!" You think the Jets are gonna let somebody named Tommy DeVito win?
No.
Yeah. Thank you.
Once I saw Tyrod was out and he was in the game, I said, I don't know who this guy is, but we don't stand that fucking chance.
Tyrod goes out.
We got your text, Paul.
Danny DeVito was in there at quarterback. I didn't know what was going on.
It's not always sunny in New York. I don't know. You got to tell me. I don't know.
No.
Oh man, Paul, what movie title you get this week, my man?
I'm gonna go with Remember the Titans. Because we had a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, big bad Kansas City Chiefs, owned your Denver Broncos, and we all were on this show a week ago talking about how Denver did not stand a single chance in that game. You, diehard Broncos fan, didn't even give Denver a chance.
Nope.
And
I did not.
I heard that episode, yeah.
And they came through.
Shame on you.
Slayed the dragon. So, we'll remember the Titans this week. We'll remember the teams, and also the Tennessee Titans coming from out of nowhere with a rookie quarterback coming in the game, making a huge splash. So we'll see if that could turn their season around. But pretty much most of the teams won that should have won. There wasn't really a lot of upsets this week, so it was just I think favorites kind of handled their business this week. So it's nothing too crazy.
Got you. My title is going to be Dazed and Confused. As Paul had mentioned earlier, my Broncos beat this team, which I elaborate on. I got a whole session on my Broncos here because we cover our own teams. I just was on cloud nine. I just couldn't believe it. So football's just weird in general, man. It's any given Sunday. It really is. You just never know what's going to happen on the football. It can go either way. If you don't take care of the ball, the game is always up for whoever. It goes 50-50 when it comes to turnovers, the team that should win. So, yeah, I was dazed and confused. Dazed and confused. So,
dazed and confused also ties into our Dwight Howard fun last week because the older he gets, those high school kids stay the same age.
Are we still doing Dwight Howard jokes?
It just ties in last week, man. Full circle.
I think we're up to 35.
I'm telling you. I lost count. We're still going into Dwight Howard.
That's all right. He's in wherever he's playing basketball.
Y'all got to leave that man alone in China.
Taiwan, China, wherever he's playing basketball.
The Warriors almost signed him before the season started, but I guess this is why they did it, to avoid all the controversy, that position that he was in.
Steve Kerr and Dwight Howard. That would have been an interesting mix.
I mean, it would have been good for the team, honestly. He can still move. He can still play. That's what the Warriors need, is somebody like that to neutralize, Jokic. But go ahead.
All right. Let's transition to the next question here. Which 6-2 AFC team impressed you this week? And then which one of them would separate themselves in the next few weeks? This is the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Ravens, the Chiefs. Well, them too, but I know they lost, but they're 6-2. So, Paul, give me your thoughts on which 6-2 team impressed you this week.
I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars just because they've they've won some good games. They've been in a lot of games. They haven't really lost a game where you thought that they probably should have won that game. Obviously, with the Dolphins and now Kansas City lost to the Lions opening weekend. The Dolphins seem to struggle against teams that may be better than them. So they're just bottom feeding on teams that are worse than them. And then Baltimore can't win a close game. They still scare me in close games. Obviously, they had a couple big wins, big blowout kind of wins last couple weeks. They're figuring out on offense a little bit. But as far as just all-around team, from what I've seen, Jacksonville's beaten Buffalo. They're holding their bid. They won 5 in a row now. So they're kind of rolling a little bit. Started off a little bit slow, but I'm most impressed with Jacksonville. Having those 2 games over there in London, coming back and still winning. So they're not showing any kind of jet lag, nothing like that. So, shout out to Kev, but huge recognition to his Jacksonville Jaguars because they're holding it down right now. And Travis Etienne, I didn't play fantasy this year, but he seems like he was the right kind of guy to pick with a number 1 pick. He wasn't looking like it early on in the season, but he's picking it up. But Miami still scares me against big teams, and I think Kansas City just has a button that they can turn on and off, and when they feel like playing, they feel like playing. But for me, it's definitely Jacksonville.
Gotcha. Saul, your thoughts about which system team impressed you?
I mean, Paul makes a good case for the Jaguars. Pat Mahomes, I guess, had the flu. And the Jags did beat the Bills, and they have some pretty decent wins. I think they're winning in spite of Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if that sounds a little crazy or not, but he was. What year is he in? Is this his third or fourth year?
I think it's his 4th year, but that first year didn't count with Urban Meyer, I guess you can say. So technically, I guess his 3rd full season.
No, it's his 4th year. Okay. And, you look at any other guy, like, is he putting up, for example, like Justin Herbert type numbers? Like, he's not. And I think if you had a choice of one or the other, I think people would pick Herbert over Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence, not to say Trevor Lawrence is stinking it up or a bad QB, but I think he's a game manager, and for the number 1 overall pick, I want to see more from him. They gave him some weapons on the outside, and he hasn't really been using them. And Paul, credit to Travis Etienne. I've got him on my fantasy team. I picked him up in like the 2nd round, I think. It was wild. But people didn't know what they were doing in that draft. But yeah, I think they've got a solid defense. I think they're better than anything else. They've got a really good, solid head coaching. Doug Peterson is no slouch. And, you give him some talent like that, and he's going to do what he did kind of in Philly. I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. So Trevor Lawrence is doing what he's got to do, but I'd like to see a little more from him. But yeah, the Jaguars are the team that's kind of surprising me. 6-2 for sure. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Nah, I think we all agree it is the Jags. They're I know they started 1-2, but then pretty much they're still been on like this 5-game winning streak. And they're winning these games on the road. I know one was in London, but the other two games,
2 of them were in London. They played back-to-back weeks in London.
Yeah,
that's right. They
played a game in Andy's toy box.
Yeah, and
so in New Orleans, that's the one that they won. But they got lucky because the tight end, I don't even know his name, dropped an empty pass, like a wide open pass in the end zone right at the end to tie it up. Open. So yeah, I mean they could easily be 5-3 or Falcons almost. Hold on, who did the Falcons play? Yeah, the Jags, right?
Yeah, the Jags.
That was a close. That was kind of a close game for a second, and then it wasn't, I think. But anyways,
that division is pretty much there for the taking. You got the Colts, who's now losing AR-15 with the shoulder injury. CJ Stroud, he has some good games, but he's still a rookie, still learning his way. Tennessee is still trying to. They were the face of this division. Derrick Henry is their guy. They're going through quarterbacks, trying to figure out. So maybe Will Levis may be the guy over Malik Willis for now, since Ryan Tannehill is dealing with an injury. So the Jazz got a really good chance to really just take a lock over this division and just have home field advantage for like at least maybe, the least the first round of playoffs for them. So Jags are looking pretty good, but now can they separate? It depends like who's going to separate themselves. And now, we even talking about, the Bengals are coming, and we'll get into them later. But they're been on the tear here, so it's gonna be fun.
It'll just be interesting to see. Like I said, I love what Baltimore's doing right now. I know they were your pick to win that to go to the Super Bowl. I think when the season started.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But they're just their game management with Lamar Jackson in close games, I think, is what separates them from being elite. If they could outscore you, sure. But if they have to make plays in a close game, obviously their field kicker's money, so they have that in their back pocket. But Lamar Jackson, I just don't trust him when the game's on the line to make a play and not give it up to the other team yet. So we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But
that's the complete opposite for me. I think that's what separates the Ravens from everybody else. Those 2 games that they lost, they lost themselves. They could easily be 8-0 still right now. That's how close those 2 losses were. I think their offense is steadily getting better. It's improving, and I think Lamar's improving. Odell might not be getting the ball, and he was angry about whatever last week, but he might be on the wrong side of 30. Busted Achilles a couple seasons ago. I mean, it's tough to come back from that, especially as a wide receiver when speed is the one thing that you need. When you're playing that position. So I think the Ravens we're going to see them take off and really kind of separate themselves, not just in the AFC North, but in the AFC itself, and give Kansas City a run for their money.
All right. Good assessment. All right, let's move into the next topic here and talk about the Minnesota Vikings. They lose Kirk Cousins for the season with an ACL injury. Paul, I want to get this question to you, man, because I know they was on this recent run. They won some string of games here, and they was up a good amount, and then he had that unfortunate injury. So, what's your thoughts about his injury? And now we heard that they already traded for Dobbs from the Cardinals. So, what's your thoughts about this whole Minnesota Vikings and his situation?
I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen in New York on that field, because we've heard enough about that field already. Just turf, period. I just think we're at a point in time where we don't need turf fields anymore. Like I just think we should be playing on some sort of real grass or some sort of synthetic grass. I just don't think that turf stuff. I mean, too many guys are having non-contact injuries. No one likes playing on it. So as the NFLPA and all these people have all these meetings and they change all these rules and they're benefiting the offense, what are you going to do when your star quarterback drops back and essentially could have a non-contact injury and blow his Achilles out? It's crazy that we've come this far. We've come a long way since the AstroTurf days. And I understand it makes, people might be faster on turf or whatever the situation may be, but I can tell you right now, 99% of the league hates playing on turf. There's not a lot of turf fields left, I don't believe, but it's a shame because, even though I still think the Vikings stink, Kirk Cousins has been playing well. And there was talks that he could have potentially been traded to the Jets had Zach Wilson, continued to struggle a little bit, but they've kind of turned it around a little bit. And Aaron Rodgers is out there with orthopedic shoes on. He's off crutches, so they're trying to get him back by the end of the year or whatever. But Kirk Cousins is a hell of a quarterback, and that team hasn't had Justin Jefferson for the last few weeks. He's been out, so they've been making do with what they have. They had a couple surprise wins. You just hate to see it, man. You just hate that someone gets hurt, and the reason why they got hurt isn't because they even took a bad hit. It's just because the field's shitty. So, you hate to see it, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Saul, your thoughts about Kirk Cousins' injury and Minnesota Vikings?
Well, yeah, Paul's right about the turf. I think it's time we get over that. 15 NFL stadiums play in turf, 15 don't. Miami's one of the ones that doesn't. And the reason I say that is because I think Messi, and I know I'm going MLS here, Messi coming to the States to play in the MLS is going to start changing that in a lot of stadiums and a lot of places, because he refuses to play on turf. He'll only play on grass. And I think that was like something that might have been written in the contract or written in something why he would come to the MLS and whatever. So, hence Miami and where they play, it's a grass field. And you're talking to a Jets fan who lost Aaron Rodgers after 4 snaps. I mean, the buildup, all that, and for the season as well, especially that Monday night game, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you lose, one of your star guys. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for the Vikings to lose Kirk. It looks like he was just starting to get in a good rhythm. Even without Jefferson playing on there, they still had that rookie wide receiver. I forget his name, but he's killing it.
Jordan Addison.
There you go. Thank you. And it's just tough. I don't know if the Dobbs move is anything crazy. What is he, like 8 TDs, 5 interceptions or something for the year? Is he going to be enough to be like the holdover for who? You know what I mean? I guess someone out of the draft. Are they going to tank, or is Kirk Cousins going to, bring up A-Rod and see like, hey, let me get some of that ayahuasca treatment or whatever. I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like put him in some fucking dark retreat and make his leg 20 times better next year. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's going to be interesting to see what the Vikings do from here on out, because they were turning around their season. They were starting to win some games. And I mean, were they going to beat the Lions? I don't know. You know what I mean? For the division, the Lions are playing great, but now, are they going to tank for, who's the kid out of USC? Is it Caleb Williams? Something like that. Yeah.
Caleb
What I mean? Because his season's pretty much over with, or what they're going to do. But it's tough, man. It's tough to see players go out like that, especially Kirk. He's killing it. He killed it last week. Who did the Vikings play last week where he came out with the Sports Center top 10 chain, they put around him or whatever and everything like that. Like, yeah, they were doing good. So it's going to be sad. It's sad for the Vikings.
Yeah. Regardless of what I say about the Vikings, like I do love Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a heck of a quarterback. I mean, guy just comes in, great teammate. He does all the right things, says all the right things, dresses like a dad who like just mowed his grass all the time with his little button up, all the way buttoned up, and his khaki pants. But the dude just, he's a gamer, man. And it just he was doing what he could with what he had. And like Saul said, you have the emergence of a rookie wide receiver. They had a lot of stuff going well for them, and then just to have that happen just as they're kind of turning a corner. I mean, I know they played Green Bay and Jordan Love kind of stinks too, but I mean, they're 4-4. Like they're 4-4 right now, and they could have easily probably been 5-3, kind of hanging in the thick of things. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. I don't think Josh Dobbs is a solution. I think, like you guys said, it's more of a placeholder thing. We need to get a quarterback. He was available. I think the Cardinals are getting ready to bring back Kyler Murray probably, which is why they dealt Josh Dobbs. But just tough, man. Non-contact injuries, you never like to see him, especially if it's an Achilles. And he had no issues, I don't think, prior of any kind of pain. Like, it's a little different when it's, calf strains and there's kind of those warnings that maybe something's going on there, but he just, the turf monster got him. And
I don't know. It's just time.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. He posted a picture on Instagram in the cast, and you seem to be in good spirits, but yeah, it's just one of those that you hate to see it to someone that Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback. I think we all agree there that he is definitely a decent quarterback. And the Vikings was trending upwards. They won their last 3 games, including the 49ers, who are going the opposite direction than where they was at the beginning of the season. So they got pieces to be a competitive team, at least on offense. I think we're missing Jefferson. He only played 5 games this year. So, and then Jordan Addison, the rookie from USC, dude is really killing it. That was a hell of a draft pick by the Vikings. He's got 8 touchdowns already through 8 games. So it's a touchdown a game. So no matter what he was doing, that he had a viable option while Jefferson was down. So depending where they go to, whoever is going to Kirk Cousins, there's going to be a quarterback next year, or he's going to be somebody else. You got 2 top tier receivers that you can work with next year, and that's the start. It's just they was going to run. I picked Detroit to win the division from the jump, but it was definitely cool to see them making a run, and then this just rain on their parade that his injury just stinks. I do think we need to look at. I think Saul broke it down perfectly about how many fields got the turf and doesn't just regular grass. I think we got enough advanced technology now that we can move forward and just have grass instead of turf in all these fields.
It's the owners being cheap. That's all it is. It's the owners being cheap. It's because it costs more to have grass. It costs more to maintain it. The Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, have like a retractable like floor or whatever where they keep the grass like hidden, where they can maintain and control temperature, whatever, water it, they take care of it. And then when it's time, to play, this, the thing retracts and like, boom, they've got the grass, that comes out. Owners just gotta stop trying to be cheap about it. We know the NFL makes plenty of money for the, especially revenue sharing and all that, that comes along with it. They can afford it. They just need to mandate it, and maybe RG3 would still be in the league. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like some of those guys, you never know. But whatever.
No worries. Well, hey, I'm gonna throw this question over to the panel because we had 2 rookies that was on display last weekend. Let's go. I'm gonna get the 2 scenarios, and then I want you 2 to discuss these rookies here. All right. So Will Levis made his first start and had an impressive start. Had 4 touchdowns, the Titans, and then you look at Bryce Young, got his first NFL win. And they went on to beat the Panthers, or the Panthers went to beat the Texans 15-13. So talk about these rookie QB seasons so far. I know Will Levis dropped in the draft. I'm gonna start with Saul. Which rookie impressed you out of Will Levis and Bryce Young?
Will Levis, hands down. 4 TDs in his first start. Like you said, he dropped. All the way to the second round. It's a guy that they were talking. I don't know if you guys remember coming up to the draft, watching ESPN and, watching everybody talk about how, this guy's coming out of nowhere. He's going to be a top 4 pick or whatever it was. He's going to get picked. The ESPN reached out to him. They have him, come out to the draft, come out and sit at this table or whatever. And like, my guy just keeps dropping. And then finally, the Titans pick him up. And, refresh my memory. Why did he start? What happened to Tannehill? Did they? Well,
Tannehill's hurt.
Okay.
And then
thank you.
Malik Willis isn't great.
Yes, Malik Willis is not great. So Will Levis comes in. It helps having a veteran wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, who still has some gas left in the tank. Apparently, I don't know if he just went up to him and said, "Just chuck it up," because.
That's exactly what he did.
Bro, chucking that thing up. Rainbow after rainbow, but they were dimes. Just like perfectly placed. Boop, right in a D-Hop's hands. And, next thing you know, he's in the end zone. He's tearing up, defenses like he used to back in Houston. So, he by far takes it this week. Is it Bryce Young that's in Carolina? Is that the rookie?
Yeah.
Got his first win. It was cool to see him. I'm sure it was good for him to beat. I'm forgetting CJ Stroud. Man, I cannot remember anyone's name tonight. But it was cool to see him. I know that he probably felt good, about the 2 top kind of quarterback picks and everything like that. But I think Chuba Hubbard played pretty good in that game, and kind of seeing the emergence of him for Carolina. Hopefully he can kind of piece it together and kind of get another second game like that going and help out his quarterback. Because I'm telling you right now, boy, Bryce Young is not getting any help on that team from nobody. Not even himself. No. So yeah, but Will Levis, shout out. Good for you.
Definitely. Mr. Mack.
Yeah, man.
Between the 2 rookies.
He looked like the guy you heard them talking about in college. Looked incredibly poised. He commanded the huddle. He made only a couple of like bad throws, but I think it helps when you bring in DeAndre Hopkins and you have a guy that's not afraid just to throw it throw him those 50-50 balls and let him go up and get them. That's why you brought him in. You didn't bring him in to let Ryan Tannehill just completely ruin your experience with that guy.
Dink and dunk his way down the field. D-Hop is not a dink and dunk wide receiver.
DeAndre Hopkins, just throw it up. And if I can't get it, no one else is going to get it. And Will Levis put his faith in his veteran wide receiver. And, Hopkins had 4 catches, 128 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. 6 targets, 4 catches. So just throw the ball in anywhere near him and he'll get it. Obviously, Derrick Henry ran for 100 yards, so that helps too. Their whole offense kind of clicked. I know their offensive line has been kind of a suspect situation since they let a lot of guys go, and they're kind of rebuilding their offensive line. But Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. But I think the big thing is you bring in the DeAndre Hopkins and these guys, and you just put a quarterback back there who isn't afraid to make a mistake. Like, he wasn't playing like he was afraid, like he was going to lose his job. There's no one else behind him. It's his job now. Tannehill's not going to be back. I'd be surprised if Tannehill comes back at all this season. They might even just ship him away probably. And then I think Malik Willis played like 1 or 2 snaps and got booed off the field the other day because they were trying to do a little 2 quarterback thing because of how dynamic he can be. But it's not a good look for Malik Willis. So that was kind of a wasted draft pick. You hate to see it, but it is what it is. But they have a great rookie running back in Tajay Spears. He's been making some big plays for Tennessee. But Will Levis, for me, that dude was just on the sidelines, like, ready to go. And just seeing what a veteran wide receiver can do for a rookie quarterback, you almost wish every team could have that opportunity, because a lot of these rookies are, like he's mentioned with Bryce Young, guys just in a shit situation in Carolina. Aside from a Chuba Hubbard, there's not much going on for him over there, and it's just going to be a lot of growing pains and a lot of things that are just going to be very discouraging for the near future until you can get some people in there. So cool for Will Levis. Apparently he puts mayonnaise in his coffee, which isn't cool. But hey, man.
What?
Oh yeah, that was on ESPN. Did the whole thing. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's probably why he dropped in the draft.
Disgusting. Oh my god, that's disgusting.
That's probably why. That's probably why he dropped him in the draft. But yeah, you love to see it.
I'm gonna say no comment on that one. Just that's I don't like mayonnaise, period. But mayonnaise and coffee, man. All right,
mayonnaise ain't that bad. Hellman's and Dukes, like a light, thin layer on my sandwich is okay. A light, thin layer of mayonnaise.
I like how you expand that light, thin layer.
Yeah, you can't overdo it, man. Some people
just
like
enough.
when you go to McDonald's, you get that McChicken sandwich and they put way too much mayonnaise on there. Makes me feel a little suspect sometimes, but I'm like, I gotta wipe this stuff off, man. I just gotta wipe this mayonnaise off this bun.
Good stuff.
Pause.
All right, let's break down our own team's performances. And Paul, you go first. Oh, you know
yes,
what?
Paul, please go first, Paul.
Yes, that's right. Y'all play each other, so it's between y'all two.
Please go first, Paul. Yes.
In my defense, I picked the Jets to win last week. I
told you did.
I told you the Jets were going to win. I didn't expect Danny DeVito to be quarterback, but it is what it is. Saquon's playing well, but without a quarterback, what are you going to do? They're already starting to trade guys.
Without a quarterback, what are you going to do?
Hey, you still have a top defense though. You'll be all right. You can keep games. You can keep games close. You don't got to score. You don't go out there and score a whole bunch of points. Right now, we can't do much of anything. The fact that we let that game even go into overtime, wild. But it is what it is. Just another week of being a Giants fan. You get a win, and then now you get that, and now people are talking about Brian Daboll's not the same guy he was a year ago with his coaching and taking chances and all this stuff. But you gave Daniel Jones too much money, man. It put you in a hole. You're in a big hole, and you have a lot of things happening around you and the future of that team. A lot of those pieces, you're bringing in Darren Waller, but similar to what DeAndre Hopkins, if you can't throw him the ball, what goes bringing in Darren Waller? Because he's not a blocking tight end. He's literally just to have having a wide receiver on your team. So he's going to go out there. He's going to spread him out wide. He's going to run routes. Can't get him the ball. It's a waste of time. And then Saquon, is still playing for a contract, and the guy still plays like 95% of the snaps on the field, and he's catching and running. So you got to pay somebody, and you hate to see people leave for free. I know they're already cleaning house a little bit. They traded Leonard Williams off to Seattle the other day for some draft picks. So they're already playing the draft game. Whatever. It is what it is. Just Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. And I'll just pass it over to Saul.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something, brother. I got one word for you. Resiliency. That's what the Jets did that week. They were resilient. They didn't give up. I don't know how. I don't know how you guys let us get some pass interference calls on you guys. Turn around. Whenever that last pass interference call there, I think it was, who was it? Was it Lazard that got it for us?
I think so.
Where, I mean, I don't even know, your DB, whoever that guy was already just hugging him.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
he wasn't even, yeah.
Turn around. Make a play on the ball. Like, once you see the receiver do this, like, you shouldn't lunge at him. You should turn around. You know what I mean? But anyways, this is coming from, middle linebacker in flag football who won maybe 2 games in 2 seasons. So
Giants passed
I definitely
for 7
know what
yards,
I'm talking about.
Giants had 7 yards.
It was great.
Okay.
No, it was great. Yeah, our defense showed up like usual. Zach Wilson somehow finds a way to move the ball down the field when there's like 45 seconds left all the time. I don't know how he does it. Can't get in the end zone, but he'll move the ball down the field and get you in field goal range somehow. So yeah, typical Jets win this season. Just ugly, grind it out. Who said it last week? I think it was Paul, maybe on the show last week. It was like, rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss or something like that all day. And let's just keep on winning, keep on being above 500. And, we'll see, if Aaron Rodgers really makes a comeback from a torn Achilles, which, I mean, as a Jet fan, yeah, sure. I'm all for positivity, right? And positive thinking and like the power of the mind. I get it. But I don't think, we're talking a torn Achilles, 5 to 10 years ago, ruined.
It was a career-ending injury. Yeah, it was a career-ending injury.
Ended your career. Now we used to say the same thing about torn ACLs in the 80s and like the early 90s. A torn ACL was it. Like, hang it up, you're done. Medical, technological advancements and all that stuff like that, are for real. But man, like Kobe went to Germany when he tore his Achilles to get like special treatment that they don't provide here in the United States. You know what I mean? Like, I think he got like stem cells and stuff injected in there. Same thing, Peyton Manning in his neck. You mean to tell me that you're going to come back from a torn ACL in, 5 months, 4 months? And not to keep on going on this, but I'm 40 years old. All right. I'm 40. I'm a man. I don't know if anybody remembers that rant.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
Oh yeah.
But I'm 40 years old. 5 years ago when I was 35, all right, playing softball for Hard Rock Cafe softball team, all right, in the rec league. I didn't even work there. I was just still playing for the team because I knew everybody on there. All right. I'm playing center field. And I'm just taking a step back to catch a pop-up. All right. This pop-up is coming. I'm gauging it. All right. I took a step back and I felt like somebody, like something, some animal, some critter, whatever, like popped me in the back of my leg, like my calf. And I was like, I kind of looked around and I was like freaking out because I don't, I'm scared of wild animals. And I was like, all right, what's around here that hit me? I didn't see anything. I go take another step to try to get the ball and I just keeled over. I tore my calf. 35-year-olds, all right, and like not non-contact injury, okay, and it's just my calf. I don't think I could I don't think I could run for I don't think I could run for 5 months. Let alone try to do any calf raises like Aaron Rodgers says he's doing. So it's going to be very interesting. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah, sure. Okay. Very nice. It's a nice if he comes back.
You just got to think if it's worth it, right? Because they have him for another year, right?
He's 38, 39. You know what I mean? And you tore your Achilles. Woo. I'm not a professional athlete, and I thought it was done. I thought I was done.
Hey man, if the Jets stay in it, you never know. The Jets stay in it, you never know what happens. Wilder things have happened, I guess.
There you go.
I guess, yeah.
Let's talk about my team that won here.
Let him have it, Cortez. Let him have it.
Yes, let's hear it. Let's hear. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Why I'm gonna go ahead and talk. Let me go ahead and pour up this.
There you go. Pour for the homies.
Vodka, boy. Oh yeah, listen. This has been 16 times we lost to this Kansas City Chiefs since 2015. 2015, Peyton Manning was our quarterback. We had about 7 different quarterbacks from then. Pat Mahomes was running us. When I tell you that this was like an Aaron Rodgers and Chicago Bears thing, I just listen. And then here's the thing that kills me, was even make me even more mad about this, is Pat Mahomes is so classy. He was like, listen, they did all the right thing. They deserve it. He don't do this Aaron Rodgers. I own you. He doesn't do that. Pat Mahomes kills the Broncos fan with kindness. And that was pissed off the Broncos fan even more, because you're such a good dude. You're such a solid dude. You play for the team that I do not like, and you kill us with kindness, Pat Mahomes. You're such an American citizen. You're such a good guy that you can't come out and be hurt that we beat you. The little bit of thing that we beat you. Listen, on 10-29-23, the Denver Broncos have broke down that 16 times losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. That ugly red and yellow-white jersey that I've seen come around here. Even around here, I see that jersey. I just want to crawl in my bed. So when I tell you that it is nice to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't care what happened the rest of the season. We can lose the rest of the games. My Super Bowl was beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, so excited. But let's get down to the game. Baron Browning, our defensive end linebacker, was everywhere. He caused a strip sack. He caused a fumble. Baron Brown was missing the first 4 weeks of the season. And so that final sack, by the way, was where Pat Mahomes got sacked, and the next play after that, he threw a pick to Justin Simmons to lock up the game. So for me to really enjoy this, man, I'm super excited. Now, Paul can tell you this, Saul. I have been very critical of my Broncos this season. They have stunk. They have stank. I have seen the worst side of this dang football team that was over the Broncos. But somehow, they can still make a run because their schedule is lighting up here. So they got a bye week. Thank God I could just take a break and breathe and let me enjoy beating the Chiefs for another week and not to worry about it. Now we got the Bills. The Bills are tough. They're inconsistent, but they're tough. You don't know what Bills team you're gonna get. So it's always hard to figure them out. Then you're playing against the Vikings. I mean, I've been worried they had Kirk Cousins, but they got Dobbs at quarterback. The Browns and at the Texans. Sometimes the Broncos play down their competition, so I could be a little worried about that. But if they play right, I tell you what, I thought they was gonna make moves at the deadline because I thought we was heading toward the draft. I guess management say we're gonna stick it out. This could be very, very bad, or it could be a wild card. I don't know. I'm just saying is, as a Broncos fan, I expect the worst. Let's just say I expect the worst. If they go to the wild card, cool. Even before the show started, but once the game started going on, I used to just was shooting down the Broncos bad. That's my squad, but they stink. I
mean, you guys have one of the best corners in the game. Still.
I love Pastor Tan.
You guys, You guys, I could see a wild card. I could see you guys making the wild card somehow. Because like you said, the Vikings, I could see you guys beating them. The Browns, they just traded with Donovan Peoples-Jones or whoever. They got rid of him. And Deshaun Watson's hurt and he hasn't really been playing good anyways. The only thing they got is that defense. And the Browns defense is for real. Myles Garrett is for real. But I mean, you guys, I could see it happening. I don't know. I could see it happening. It's tough to get that beat down the Dolphins gave you guys out of the rear view still, because it's still that was pretty bad. But
the Vance Joseph experience, you shut down the Chiefs and you let the Dolphins put up 70 points on you. I can't explain it. So
yeah.
Well, Saul, hey, I know you probably see this segment every week, and I'm glad you get to partake in this. Player of the week. Who is invited to the cookout, and what you put on the grill for this player? Let me know who is invited to the barbecue, what you cooking for him, Saul, because you're the guest. You get to choose the player who's going to the barbecue. Who's invited to the cookout?
If we're going NFL, then yeah, it's going to be Will Levis. Will Levis is invited to the cookout because, he showed up, 4 TDs, threw it up to D-Hop, made D-Hop look like old D-Hop. Will Levis, playing with a chip on his shoulder. Probably have to put some pernil on there. That's Dominican, pork shoulder. You know what I mean? Start grilling some of that up. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds so good right now.
Maybe some plátanos. Maybe the plátanos fritos, platanitos. You know what I'm saying? Got those. Because I'm bringing a Dominican, barbecue here. That's what we do. My mom used to do barbecues for us when we moved to Florida, so it was legit. But and some wings. Can't have a barbecue without wings. So Will Levis, you could have some of them wings that Jameis Winston be talking about all the time. Will Levis really having them. But yeah, he's in.
That's great. Mr. Mack, who you invite to the barbecue?
I'm going to invite a guy who people weren't sure if he was going to be able to carry the load. Coming off a loss last week. But I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs from the Detroit Lions.
Ooh,
rookie running back out of Alabama. He was kind of just a little third down back for them a little bit with David Montgomery. David Montgomery's out now. And my man had 26 carries for $152 and 1 touchdown. 5.85 yards, almost 6 yards a carry. So shout out to that guy. I'm just going to pull a Cortez. I'm just going to give him some ribs, some potato salad. Just some of that Alabama down home barbecue.
What about the bus stuff barbecue? On your hat, the bus stuff barbecue.
Hey man, butt stuff, baby.
Yeah, bro. No raisins. I don't want no raisins in my potato salad.
No, it won't be the.
I don't want no raisins from butt stuff.
It won't be the white folk potato salad. It'll be some good potato salad. But we'll smoke them something real good, and it's just nice when you see these rookies that get picked up, and people are sitting here wondering why they got this guy because they just signed this guy, and what's this person's role going to be, and then you can just slide in and have a game like that. Now I know it was against the Raiders, who were struggle busting pretty hard, but still a big win for Detroit. Gets them back on track, and kind of shows you that there may not be a weakness on that offense, which is pretty remarkable because Jared Goff. He's throwing the ball over the yard, and then even the backup running back for Detroit had 74 yards. They ran for over 200 something yards the other day. Yeah. So shout out to they can bring the offensive line too. We're just gonna have a whole cookout for all the big boys up front and them 2 running backs. So
bring them on. All right, I've been very critical of Vance Joseph on this podcast. I was very critical. I didn't want him back even as a defensive coordinator because I know he was our head coach a few years ago. And I would just, why Sean Payton? I know you're nice. Why him? You know, you have a history with us. Was he cheaper? You could have got Rex Ryan. I just didn't understand it. 70 points happened against the Dolphins, and I warned him gone. I didn't want him to get on the bus. But you know what? I got to give him what credit's due. Vance Joseph and that Broncos defense. 2 interceptions, one from Justin Simmons, and one from McMillan, who we found a nickel back, for the way, and that's perfect. He's one of our young guys, so he's a rookie, so he can be a nickel back now. 3 sacks. You got Brown, Allen, and Cooper, and 2 fumbles. This Broncos defense is vying to the barbecue, and I gotta make some pulled pork because it's a lot of guys. Pulled pork,
That's a lot of guys.
Exactly. With some Hawaiian, like the Hawaiian rolls. I think I got him with some coleslaw with that. And I'll give him some mac and cheese with some pork and beans, maybe a bag of chips.
Cortez is big on the pork and beans mac and cheese combo.
Hey, listen, it's got a touch. It's got a touch. The mac and cheese and the pork and beans got a touch. That's how it is.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, hey, that's what it is. But no, shout out to Vance Joseph. I know I've been very harsh on this guy.
He's a man. He's 40. He can handle it.
Yeah. But no, shout out to him and his Broncos defense, and we'll see if it continues. I know, listen, that's a big deal beating the Chiefs. It's a team that ran the AFC West for the past 5 years. This is a team that was Super Bowl champions last year. So this is the thing, good football team, and the Chiefs won't be down long. They'll bounce back. They'll bounce back. So just for us to get that win against them and everything like that is big. So kudos to Vance Joseph. I also gonna give a shout out to who's on the fence. Dak Prescott and Bryce Young was on my fence, who I thought about inviting to the barbecue as well too. But I know we got a Giants fan here, and he does not like the Cowboys, so I'm pretty sure he was like, yeah, put that guy away.
He could choke on a chicken bone. He'd be all right.
The Cowboys are never, it's the Cowboys. They're gonna mess it up. That's it. It always happens at the end. I don't know what they did to deserve all this, but I'm not complaining because I've never really liked them either. So I'm good.
All right, for sure. All right, so let's move on to the next topic here. All right, so Ball's Not Court, top 5 teams of the week. And Paul, I'm gonna go with you. Who's your top 5 teams up to week 9 now? Going up to week 9. Who's your top 5 NFL teams?
I will put Baltimore 1. I will put Philly 2. I will put Jacksonville 3. Miami 4. And I'll put Detroit 5.
Okay.
Just straight down the line. Just thinking.
I mean, Philly's got to be number 1 for me. I don't think we've even seen them really get into their offense. I know they struggled a little bit against the Commanders this past week, but to see them come back and fight back, and to see A.J. Brown just be A.J. Brown, and they signed Julio Jones, who, I mean, I don't know why, but hey, he's another big target. Whatever, you know what I mean? For Jalen Hurts to throw the ball up in the end zone or be a decoy. Either way, Philly's number 1. I probably have to go with Kansas City at number 2. I hate to say, well, no, I don't. You know what? Baltimore number 3. And it's tough. The 49ers lost 3 in a row. And I don't want to really give up on them, but I can't really say them. I don't want to hate on the Finns. I guess maybe I got to throw the Finns in there just because of their record and their offensive firepower, but they have not beat anybody with a winning record this year. At all. They haven't even held on to a lead. They haven't even led a game where they played a team with a winning record. They just haven't. It's I don't know. It's weird. We saw them kind of struggle a little against New England, and it's New England, give me a break. They had to pull away kind of late. But I guess just because their offense, I'll stick them in there. Is that 5? Did I say 5 already?
Yeah, you got 5.
Did I leave the Lions out? Lions might be close, and they're kind of like the way they've been playing, but yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. My top 5. 5 is going to be Kansas City Chiefs. I know they lost to my Broncos, but they're still a top 5. They're a top 5 team. So, number 4 is the Dolphins, as you two elegantly put it. I'm still worried about them having win the big game. Then they got a big game coming up this week, another big game, and a pissed off team that should have won. So, all right, you're up, Dolphins. Let's see what you can do. See how you respond. But they're number 4. Number 3, the Jaguars. Really believe in this team. I think they're really clicking on all cylinders with this team. Trevor Lawrence have a lot of pieces around him to put him in a position to succeed. So, interesting to see how they deal with the heightened expectations and the additional spotlight and see if they can handle it. But right now, they're number 3. Number 2 is the Ravens. And number 1 is the Eagles. I know I've been big on them, how they've been winning games, but they're winning games. They're winning games. I might not like how they win it, but they're pulling them out the games, and they only got 1 loss on the season. So the Eagles there. Detroit is on my outside looking in. I literally had them on the 6 range, but get another win this week, they'll be back up my top 5 for sure. All right, Kev, I'm gonna pull up the screen. Or I said Kev, Paul. Don't know how I got you two confused, but hey,
they're both white guys. They look the same.
Hey, they're both handsome. There.
Hi-oh.
Hey, all right. So I done pulled the screen here. Mr. Mac, I'll let you take over. And Saul, you're gonna make picks, and guess what? You're playing against KC. We always do the guess against the main contributor to this show. So it's Saul versus KC.
It's gonna be tough. Paul, he's good.
He is. Yeah, he's
all right. To recap last week, Tom came in at 10-6. So 10-6 is the best record a guest has had on this show.
Okay,
Tom was 10-6, so bar set kind of high. Kev came in at 12-4, and then Cortez and myself were 13-3 last week. So big week for pretty much everybody. That sets the season standings. I'm currently 70-51, and Kevin is 74-47, and Cortez back in the lead at 75 wins, 46 losses.
Oh,
let's go!
Solid win percentage.
Yes,
we're all doing pretty well. Not too bad. But that's where we're at going into week numero 9.
Okay,
and we got game starting tomorrow, 8:15, Amazon Prime. The Tennessee Titans at Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's tough. It's a toss-up.
I believe Kenny Pickett's out for the Steelers, if that makes a difference.
I'm a ride with my boy Will Levis and the Titans. I don't think the Steelers have enough offense. Even though it's on a short week too. Who did the Steelers just play this past week? Did they play? Or were they on a bye? Oh, they
played Jacksonville. Yeah, they played Jacksonville.
That's right, and the Jags beat them. Tennessee.
Ooh, so Mitch Trubisky, I'm assuming, is starting then if Kenny Pickett's out, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it make a difference, but I'm going Steelers at home. Steelers to win.
I'm riding with Tennessee. Got a great run game. Got a rookie quarterback who ain't scared of the big lights. I'll go with Tennessee. All right, first one. Oh, we got a little 9:30 action on Sunday.
Paul, who Kevin choose?
Oh yeah, where his picks at? Let's see. Let me pull him up real quick. Kev went with beep. Oh, well, we know he didn't pick Tennessee, so I'm going. He went with Pittsburgh because that's a given. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Kevin went with Pittsburgh because he says, "Fuck the Titans."
That's how he talked too.
Yep, sure did. He went with Pittsburgh, so we're good. So we're split down the line. 2-2. Nice. All right, 9:30 a.m. NFL Network. Miami Dolphins at Kansas City Chiefs.
The
Chiefs.
They're in Berlin, right? They're in Germany.
Germany, yeah.
This game in the morning? This should be a primetime game.
Yeah.
Primetime for Germany.
Mm-hmm. I'm going Chiefs. Yeah, Kansas City. Tyreek Hill has a good game against his former team, but I think in the end, The Chiefs are just too much. I think Pat Mahomes is just too much. I mean, and the Dolphins did get what? Patrick Ramsey back, or is that his name? Yeah, the
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. I don't know why I said Patrick Ramsey. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey got Jalen Ramsey back. But I don't know, man. Pat Mahomes and that offensive line for the Chiefs, they're pretty good.
Yeah, Chiefs pissed off. Yeah, they lost to a division rival. Chiefs have bounced back. And Dolphins still extend that streak of they can't win the big game. So, but yeah, Chiefs will win.
Well, I'm going to be reckless because I got to catch up in the rankings here. So I'm gonna take Miami, and if they lose this game, I'm never taking them again against a good team ever again. This is their chance to earn my trust. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins over the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Kev also went with Kansas City. So I'm the lone wolf on this one with the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
All right. 1:00. Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings at, I believe, the new starting quarterback for the Falcons, Taylor Heineke. So we got Josh Dobbs versus Taylor Heineke. I think Desmond Ridder experience is coming to an end there for the Atlanta Falcons. So interested to see what happens. But in Atlanta, go ahead.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Taylor Heineke's experience always been a fun one.
Yeah, Atlanta. They were winning in spite of Desmond Ridder or whatever his name was. I think Bijan Robinson has a good game. I think they get Kyle Pitts involved. And yeah,
about time.
Should win this one. Seriously,
free Kyle Pitts, man. Jesus Christ.
For real.
Free Kyle Pitts. Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If Kirk Cousins was playing, it's a different story. But I'm gonna take Atlanta, and then Kev also went with Atlanta. So Atlanta across the board in a sweep. Here we go. Fun one at 1:00. 5-2 Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens.
This is a good one. This is gonna be a good game. Oh, it's gonna be a good game.
I'm going Baltimore. They're at home. Baltimore is not going to lose this one. There's no way.
It's going to be closer than what we think it would be. But the Ravens end up squeaking it out.
Absolutely.
Who you got, Ball?
Yeah, Baltimore's kind of rolling, so I'm gonna take Baltimore. And then Kev went with
He liked to see
Kevin took Baltimore. No, he went Baltimore.
Oh, surprise. I know he's a big Seahawks guy.
He's a big Geno Smith guy. All right. The 1-7 Arizona Cardinals at the 4-3 Cleveland Browns.
Who's starting for the Cardinals? Who's their quarterback? Do we know? They traded Dobbs.
Good question. I don't think Kyler Murray's ready to come back.
I'm going Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett has more touchdowns than anybody else in that game.
Best third down defense in the league, I think the Cleveland Browns have. So they're going to get a lot of third downs against the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin also went Cleveland Browns. All right.
First time Cleveland got a sweep on the board, really?
Hey, man.
Got to be a first time.
Play the Cardinals is what happens.
Dog pound.
I saw Reggie Bush's first game there in Cleveland when he was with the Saints opening day. That was good.
Deshaun Watson saw Bush too.
I bet he did.
Yeah, he did. All right, next 1:00. The 3-5 Rams at the 2-5 Green Bay Packers.
Oh, the Rams. Jordan Love stinks. I mean, it stinks. Unless he can figure it out, but I don't see that happening. I think the Rams destroy Green Bay and Lambeau.
Yep. I'm with Saul there. I don't need to echo what he just said. I agree.
Yeah, Green Bay's young. They're a young team. They're trying to figure it out, but they're just young, and Jordan Love is just regressing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Jordan Love experience here going forward. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams as well. I'll take Matt Stafford in that gunfight every time. And then Kevin also with the Rams. Man, Rams got some stud like young wide receivers too. You see that? You see those guys?
Yeah. Puka, Nuka,
Puka,
Chico.
yeah, that guy. Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy's
he's
good.
good.
And there's another guy too with a crazy name, but
Tutu
Nakua something
Atwell?
or other. Yeah, Tutu Atwell and Nakua whatever. Yeah, they're chilling over there in Los Angeles. All right, next we got the 3-4 Yuccaneers and the 3-4 Houston Texans. Talk about a team that's going backwards. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They'll bounce back.
Are they going backwards?
I mean, they came out like, were they 2-0? So
they came out pretty hot. They did come out hot. They done cool down a little bit, but they'll bounce back against the Texans.
I mean, they almost beat the Bills. Almost.
But that speaks more volume on the Bills, though. I think the Bills are one of those teams where there's still a lot to be, up in the air about how Buffalo plays. They're real inconsistent.
So inconsistent they are. Yeah. Fucking like Yoda. Sorry. But yeah, Bucks win.
Yeah. You know what? I think the Texans get back on track here. I think they surprise everybody. I'm going Houston Texans.
Yeah, I can't put my faith in Baker Mayfield anymore. So I'm gonna take Houston as well. I think CJ Stroud is having himself a little season over there.
I think Nico Collins has a big game.
Ooh.
Kev took Tampa. Kev takes Tampa.
Wow. All right.
1:00, the Washington Commanders at the New England Patriots.
Commanders.
Oh, buddy. This is a stink fest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the Patriots. Ooh, I don't feel confident saying that either.
Yeah.
This might bite
I'm
me.
gonna take New England. I think this is a game where if New England can't win this game, then they're chalked. So I'm gonna put my faith in Bill Belichick. It's crazy they haven't had a bye yet. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna take New England. Kev's going Washington.
Yeah, New England's offense is too predictable. It is. Bill Belichick's outdated. It's a wrap. He didn't evolve with the times.
The Commanders just traded away. The Commanders just traded away their two
Chase Young. Yep.
Chase Young and Montez Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trading them. They're trading that defense away. So see what happens. It'll be interesting. Last 1:00, the 2-6 Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints.
Saints. It's tough. New Orleans they're a tough home team. I'm going New Orleans.
I say it every week. I say it every week. They're my pick to win that division. As shitty as that division is right now, I'm gonna go New Orleans.
Saints will win.
Saints win. Kevin's gonna go Chicago.
Ooh.
Kevin with the Bears.
All right.
The Bears.
Reckless man. All right. First 4:05 game. 3-5 Colts. Gardner Minshew and the Colts taking on Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, coming off his first victory.
Oh, Panthers. They string it together. They're gonna get 2-game winning streak. Panthers, Carolina. I can see it. Damn, they connected. Chuba Hubbard has another good game. I think it's a wrap.
Hey, as the White House say, keep pounding.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Man.
That was wide open. My bad. I'm sorry.
He says that too. No. Yeah, I'm gonna ride Carolina. You got me on this Chuba Hubbard, Bryce Young, the whole thing. Let's see what happens over there in Carolina. See if they can string off a couple in a row because the Colts aren't good.
I mean, they're not that bad. Jonathan Taylor's still on the team.
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew's decent.
Ooh, describe decent.
He's decent. I mean, would you rather have Zach Wilson or Gardner Minshew?
Probably Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Get out of here, for real?
Oh, 100%.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
100%.
Wow. I'm all right.
There's a lot of people I'd rather have than Gardner Minshew.
Would you have Justin Fields or Gardner Minshew?
Justin Fields.
I
think Justin Fields is just coached poorly.
Oh, really?
Sure. I think just ask him to do too much for the offense. I think if someone simplified the offense for Justin Fields, He wouldn't be great, but he'd be good. But Gardner Minshew,
I mean,
aside from a cool mustache and a cool story, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. He's just
He dresses nice.
All right,
sure,
cool.
I feel like jorts.
Where are we at here? Kev's going with the Colts.
Oh, little Gardner action.
Kev never goes with the Colts.
Wow.
Kevin actually says Gardner Minshew sucks. No. All right. Fair enough. All right.
Okay.
425. The 2-6 Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, yeah. The Raiders are coming out hot.
Raiders just fired their entire front office. They got they got an interim head coach, no GM. They announced that they're benching Garoppolo. They're going to start another guy.
Mm-hmm.
They still beat the Giants because the Giants are probably going to have to start Danny DeVito again, and it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy? If they would have had Josh McDaniels, I would have put the Giants to win. They fired Josh McDaniels. The Raiders are going to win. Josh McDaniels stinks.
Yeah.
And I have him as a Broncos coach. I know he stinks.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he got another shot. I mean, I guess what everybody liked what he did with Mac. What's his face? Mac Jones in New England for that 1 year, and then all of a sudden, he's head coaching material again.
The NFL just loves giving these guys shots, man. There's so many guys who haven't gotten an opportunity, and they'll just keep giving Josh McDaniels jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I can't do it. Kev's going with the Giants.
Oh wow, he's thinking of you, Paul. That's what he's doing.
I appreciate that. Here we go. Clash of the Titans. See what happens here. 425. Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, this is gonna be a football game right here. This is gonna be a football game.
Yeah, Philly.
This should have been in prime time.
Yeah, I don't know how they. I mean, I guess it is. It'll probably be the main 4:00 game. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Fox. It's the Fox game of the week for sure.
Oh, the Fox game of the week. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Philly. Just fuck Dallas. That's my weekly fuck Dallas. Yeah, Philadelphia.
Cowboys worry me too. They can't win the big game either.
Mm-mm.
Eagles. Yeah. But I will say this: it would be close. It would be a clse game. But
I don't know. I think the Eagles get to Dak Prescott and he makes some Dak Prescott plays.
I hope so. Boy, I hope so.
Kev also going Philly. So Philly across the board. Sunday Night Football. Buffalo Bills at the hot Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean, Cincinnati, they're on a roll. They're getting hot.
Joe Burrow looks good. Joe Burrow
Joe Burrow looks good. Mixon looks good.
Jamar Chase looks great.
Chase looks phenomenal. Yeah, Cincinnati. I mean, I think it'll be a close game too. I think it'll be a good one, but I think Joe Burrow gets the ball at the end and goes down the field and wins it.
Seeing what the Bengals defense did to Brock Purdy, I feel like Josh Allen's vulnerable and potentially can make some mistakes against that defense.
Bills are weird. They lose the games they shouldn't lose, and they win the game they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills. I might regret this pick, but the Bills will win.
Wow.
I might regret this pick, but the Bills will win.
Okay. Kev is taking the Bungles.
Kevin can catch me if I lose this game.
There you go. So we have all these nice little games here. That Cowboys Eagles game could have easily been a Monday night game. Instead, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the New York Jets.
Let's go, baby.
What?
You already know where I'm going. Let's go.
Oh man.
Let's go. The Jets taking this one.
So a talent offense versus a talent defense. But on the flip side of the ball, both of them are suspect on the other side of the ball.
And they're playing on turf. They're playing on turf. Remember that.
They're playing on turf. Oh man, Jets will probably end up winning this in a squeaker, and Jets will win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
defenses-
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Their defense is out of this world, man.
All of Saul's praises for Justin Herbert earlier. I'm gonna go.
Hey, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, and then Kev also went with the Chargers.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Good KC's pick of the week. Let's move in and talk about, before we wrap this up here, let's talk about the trade that happened last night. This was watching my Magic game, and of course I'm half asleep. Of course, this trade comes in about James Harden. You've been hearing about James Harden. James Harden this. James Harden complaining about this, all the moves, all this stuff. Finally, he gets a trade.
Daryl Morey is a liar. Daryl Morey is a liar.
As he is complaining over here in China, a whole different world, a whole different part of the country, saying that, oh man, this guy is horrible. Anywho, Saul, I want you to break this down. What's your thoughts about the trade? This is James Harden. We got James Harden. Go ahead.
Yeah, the James Harden trade. Let me see here because I got it. They got rid of PJ Tucker as well.
Yep.
Sent him over, and Robert Covington goes back to Philly. Nick Batum probably get bought out, or I don't know if he'll stay there. I see this like I think it's the first domino falling. I think Joel Embiid wants out now. He's just not going to say anything yet, but unless Daryl Morey makes some crazy move to get, I don't know who or what other superstar to pair up with Joel Embiid. But this looks to me like this is the perfect time for just a rebuild and a blow up. Like, all right, let's start it all over again. Daryl Morey, you've been there, 2 years. None of those guys were your picks. You brought in James Harden, and that didn't work out. It's tough not to say he's like a team killer, because I don't think he is, but it's the what he did with Brooklyn was not good. What he did to get out of Houston was not good.
Yeah.
And then it's just from that point on, you kind of see like a pattern. He's still a good player because you saw him drop 40 in the playoffs when he had to. You don't need that from him every night. You have the glass man, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't care about the NBA's rules about load management. Still doesn't matter. He's going to do what he's going to do. If this trade happened like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if this was the team, I'd be like, oh yeah, the Clippers it's going to be tough.
Look out.
We'll see what happens. I mean, they've got Russell Westbrook, who's not Russell Westbrook. Is he still a viable starting point guard in the league? Yeah. I mean, I know he's better than any guard on the Magic right now. I'll tell you that. You can't tell me that Russell Westbrook is not better than Markelle Fultz. And come on, that's saying a lot. But whatever, they'll make some noise. Denver's still the team to beat out there. Jokic is still the man. They've surprised me the most coming out of the gate, still winning and not having that championship hangover. I know LeBron's pissed. I'll tell you that. And the Lakers, how they have that guy, I don't know who, the guy on social media who does like all the LeBron parodies, like if he was LeBron and everything, like, getting all angry about stuff.
Mark Phillips.
Yeah, this is it. This is happening all over again because it's just the Clippers are still going to be a tough team regardless. If they can stay healthy, that's the thing. If they can stay healthy, but are they going to win the chip? I don't think so. I don't know how this makes them the clear favorite. I was looking, I think ESPN or something. Somebody said that, or I don't know if it was Stephen A. I don't think what he says is credible, anyways, half the time. But I still don't think it makes them the clear favorite. I think Golden State is going to be really tough to beat. Everybody was worried about how Chris Paul's going to fit. And I think he's fitting in just fine. So, we'll see what happens. I think he weasels his way out of this team. He's going to see Clippers. It's not what he thought it was going to be. It's not going to work. Whatever, and he's gonna either want out or Kawhi's gonna want out. I don't know, but it's and the only guy they're gonna move is Paul George probably because his contract's able to move. But
yeah,
I feel bad for Embiid. I hope he comes to the Knicks. That's
All
it.
right.
I can see that happening. I really could. The Knicks have enough picks. They have enough assets. We'd lose Mitch Robinson. We might have to lose RJ Barrett. But if we can keep, Moodius Randle and we can keep Jalen Brunson and pair him up with Joel Embiid and the rest of the Nova guys, I think that would be the way to go. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Daryl Morey does.
Your thoughts on the trade, Paul? James Harden finally get traded?
I mean, one, is he in shape, right? What kind of impact is he going to have? You see all the fat James Harden memes everywhere on the internet. Is the guy in shape? The trade, I think they shared a thing the other day, like as far as championship odds, even with this trade, I think they didn't change much. I think the Clippers are still like a plus 180 or something like that to win a championship, and Philly is still like 180, 190. So they didn't change much. So it didn't really sway anything too much compared to what they thought they were going to be when the season started. I forgot Nick Batum was still in the league. You want to talk about a contract that, man, when the NBA was giving money away to people, that dude committed.
Yeah, he made money.
Robbery. And he gets to just walk out.
Mike Connolly committed highway robbery, but
I mean, there's a lot of NBA guys that committed highway robbery. There's a lot of guys, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, one of my favorite quotes is the way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? And James Harden has a history of these type of things. He demands out, goes to another team, doesn't work out, blows up, causes a whole big deal. So I mean, this is one of those things where this might potentially be kind of the last hurrah for James Harden, because if it isn't working with the Clippers, I don't think anyone's going to want to take a shot with James Harden at this point of his career, with the mileage he has on him, with the track record he's got. I mean, because he's not going to take a diminished role. So what do you do with an aging guy who thinks he's still running around in Mike D'Antoni's Houston Rockets offense? So I mean, it's crazy that it was all that hoopla about it, but I mean, does it make things a little interesting? Maybe. I mean, playing the Clippers in a 5 or 7 game series might be interesting, but the way they
we've never seen James Harden do anything in the playoffs.
Right, exactly. So you're not really adding anything from the playoff standpoint. The guy tends to get burnt out by the end of the year. He fizzles out completely in the postseason. So it's not even like you're bringing in a guy who has a proven postseason record that you're like, all right, this guy, if we can get into the playoffs, this guy can make things happen. The guy's been the complete opposite of that. Guy does not show up in the playoffs at all. So you're not bringing in that kind of guy. He's not a veteran leader like what some of these guys are that they traded away, like the Robert Covingtons and the Marcus Morris. These guys are guys that they're a presence on the team. I think there's good team guys, good like glue guys, and just bringing in a James Harden to throw in there with Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard just seems like a weird dynamic. And I just feel like it's just a Hail Mary to save James Harden's career. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Trade to me, the Clippers lost some of their depth, and Philly does gain some of their depth. I always thought that Maxey is a budding star. He's playing very well to start the season. So I feel like once he went ahead and dropped 30 points, they was like, okay, it's time to trade James Harden, which I think for the most part, Philly was trying to get Terrence Mann, but the Clippers wasn't budging on they didn't want to give up Terrence Mann. So they was like, no, which was funny. They had a video before the Clippers played the Magic last night. Harden's walking to the locker room, and you see Terrence Mann kind of give Harden the side eye, like, yo, what? Like, because he was linked to this guy for the rumor. So I'm pretty sure there's the ice is kind of thin between those two right now. Hopefully it develops. But I do agree with you guys about them. I guess for the most part, if Paul George and Kawhi Leonard need to do the whole rest thing, at least Russell does play. He doesn't take off. James Harden from time to time, he does miss games. But if he does play, they do have them two guys playing. But it is a dynamic to see how it works in the playoffs. Philly does help bolster their bench a little bit for the most part. They got to evaluate Embiid and see what they want to do with him. We'll see. I know there's been rumors swirling about possibly him on and out, but I like to see them with the core they have now and see what they do with that. They do have some draft picks just for some assets, just in case if the Sixers want to go into a full rebuild or not. But I think this is one last hoorah to see what they're going to do in the playoffs. Clearly, I do think they're the third best team in the East. I think they're behind the Celtics.
Philly?
Yes.
Without Harden?
Yes, they're clearly the third best team in the East.
What?
Yeah. In my opinion, I think they're behind the Bucks and the Celtics in the East. So
Bucks just got thrashed by the Raptors, by the way.
Yeah, but it's NBA season. We already know how it's going to happen, man. There's going to be some games that you can't explain, and it's going to be like that. But I do feel like that the Sixers are the third team. Even when they had Harden, I thought they were the third best team in the East there. So,
I mean,
but I want
with James Harden, yeah. Oh, it's a 2-point game with the Knicks. With James Harden, I could see them being the third best team in the East. But I don't even think. No way. I mean,
they still got Tobias Harris. They did add a lot of depth to their bench, and two of these guys can knock down shots. Two of these guys do play the game. Nicola Batum is a nice little veteran locker room, and this is just my opinion, man. I feel like they're the third best team in the East, and we'll see, man. That's why you play the games.
Best team. I'm trying to think. So we're what, 3 games into the season? I want to say. Is everybody 3 or 4 games? Everybody's about 3-1 or 2-1.
Yeah, 2-2, all that. Yeah, you really don't get a full sample size until after Christmas.
Milwaukee, Boston scares me. If Kristaps stays healthy, that's just scary to me. It's not fair. And it makes me angry because I was such a big Kristaps fan. But third best team. I don't know. Without Harden, that's going to be tough. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I need another week of basketball.
No, I mean, honestly, all this will even out until like Christmas. So, but I do like that they got Robert Covington, who's familiar with the Sixers, and KJ Morris, the nice Kenyon Martin little boy. It's a nice little prospect just to have. He might be just a bench player, but you got to get something in all these trades and whatnot, and we'll see. But Tyrese Maxey is coming on to his own. I think he's going to be a hell of a player going forward. And put the ball in his hands and see how it works with Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. And JoJo just got to stay healthy too, because we know JoJo doesn't. At times he does get hurt with the style that he plays for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which NBA team has impressed y'all so far? And then we'll close up this podcast because we're almost pushing 135.
Yeah, facts.
So I'll go with you. What NBA team impressed you so far? I know it's a small sample size, but it's what hot takes it for, man. What
impressed me so far? I'd probably have to say Golden State, with how they've put Chris Paul or integrated Chris Paul into their offense. And I'm surprised that he's cool with coming off the bench like that. I think a lot of the time last year, especially when they were losing on the road so much, every time Steph Curry came off the court, they didn't really have anybody to really bring the ball up, to really set up the offense. Jordan Poole is great offensively, but is he a setup guy like Steph Curry can be? He is not. You know what I mean? I mean, we've seen that part of Steph Curry's game where he's a facilitator as well. And I think when you bring in somebody to kind of rein in the second team, someone that professional like Chris Paul, I think it just goes to show like they're not going to skip a beat in their offense. So I've been really surprised, especially with Draymond not playing the first couple games too. They played very well. And I think Chris Paul and Klay Thompson have a pretty good chemistry that they've been developed in these early games. So, I'd probably say that's a team that's impressed me the most, surprised me the most.
Okay. Paul?
For me, I'm going to go with with the Dallas Mavericks. I know Luka had a lot of people on him. The guy had just, it was last year as good as he can get. Is all the Luka Magic stuff kind of, overhyped, overrated. But that dude came out and had like a 40-point triple-double the other day. That man's getting buckets. I saw an interesting stat about that guy though. We'll see what happens, but he's like really, really bad at like shot quality. So dude's just making crazy shots right now. Like he's just all these little step back threes and
what the weird 3-point hook shot he took the other night, bounced it off the glass.
The dude's like shot difficulty is like one of the highest in the league, and he's still just going crazy. So we'll see if they fizzle out, but they're 3-0, and of the 3 games they've played, Luka Doncic is playing out of his mind. But also, look at the Denver Nuggets, defending champions.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a team that they're just good, and they just get it done. However you want to get it done. If you want to play, bully ball in the paint, they'll play that way. If you want to run and gun, they'll run with you. Jokic is still the man, and it's just. So until someone pops Denver in the mouth, I guess you'd still probably have to roll with Denver. But I'm gonna take Dallas. Kind of.
Yeah.
Right now.
I agree with you. I think Dallas is at 3-0. They're one of the only 3 teams left that's 3-0. They defeat the Spurs, the Nets, and the Grizzlies. But hey, who's on your schedule? You gotta take advantage of it and win the games. But Doncic is averaging 39 points right now through those 3 games, and he's shooting at a 50% clip. So. I do agree his shot selection is always crazy, but the best shape he looked like he has been starting the seasons. I don't know if that contribute to FIBA basketball, him going over there and playing in the Worlds, but he looks great. And also I like to see the Derek Lively combination with him. That's the high draft pick that came out of Duke center. He's really the perfect pick and roll guy for Luka. His athleticism, the way he defends at the rim. Provide that rim protection, and also just provide that lob threat to him. So I want to see if it can continue. Kyrie's been kind of being in that role and playing a little bit of efficient through the 3 games, moving the ball pretty well. Just want to really see. I know they kind of came together at trade deadline, and a lot of things just didn't come together for them as quick as they wanted to. But they can put it together, man, and Luka can really keep putting this type of games together, man. He's got a real shot making a run at MVP for sure. A good start to their season right now for them going 3-0. I think they're playing tonight, but right now they're 3-0. So, all right, good.
Before we go, just what are your guys' thoughts on Victor Wembanyama? How do you feel about Wemby?
He's going to be great. Yeah. He's I mean, the games we've seen him play on TV anyways, the Spurs have relied on him pretty heavily in the 4th quarter. He's gotten off to a cold start, but he knows how to close out games, and his defense is there. I mean, he's going to be good. I hate that Pop got him. I hate that the Spurs got him. It's good. Barring any kind of freak injury, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think he's gonna live up to expectations.
That game last night they won was crazy, man. They was down 20 at one point, and Wembanyama had 2 baskets kind of propelled him that, and then Keldon Johnson took the ball from KD. And I literally was like watching the game, and I turned around like, wait a minute, how they won? Like I missed it how they won, so I had to go back and watch the highlights. I was shocked. But
he ripped that ball from KD's hand. KD just, how do you let somebody do that? And I like how KD is just stunned because he's like, was there a foul? No, it was a clean steal. The guy just ripped the ball right out of your hand. Your soft ass little hands, KD. Well, they're not little, but he just
took it from him, man. But Wemby's got a good starting career. He's patting the ball and outside the ball. And the thing I like about Popovich, he's making it simple for him right now. All this other stuff you learn as you go. But it's a good start to his career. It's just crazy to see a freak of nature that can handle the ball like a 6'5" guard, and it's insane. But the sky's the limit for the dude. I think he's gonna be a hell of a player for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, well, let's wrap that up because we're at 1 hour and 42 minutes. Man, that's a lot of content.
That's my fault.
Today.
My bad.
Nah, you're good, man. Sports, man. Hey, nothing wrong with that. So let's shut this down before we go. Hey, tap in your socials, tap everything so everybody know.
Yeah.
where to find ya.
Again, check me out on Get It How You Live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything, all that other stuff. What is my handle on IG? I forget. Is it Saul_Wall? I think _ That's what I always forget what my handle is on IG. Nope, just kidding. It's Solly_D's. That's what it is. And it's the same thing on Twitter or X. It's still Twitter to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't like calling it X. But yeah, holler at your boy, man. Check me out on the podcast.
Absolutely. Paul, plugging your social.
Yep, got it right down here. At @the_Paul_Mac on X. And then on Instagram, it is thePaulMac520 on Instagram. Those are my two main ones there. And, just want to shoot shit and talk about whatever around. Saul, I have a little contest to see who takes the most videos on Instagram.
Good stuff. Y'all can find me at N-CP on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. Like I said, I call it Twitter too. So
yeah,
I'd rather call it Twitter. Yeah. But like I said, I always find content through this podcast. You can catch me and Paul during the week. No, last week was a marathon. We had 3 episodes. Man, I had to.
I don't know how you guys did that. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I cranked them out, man. I was like, oh my goodness, like 3 episodes. But every week we'll definitely crank out one for sure. So make sure y'all stay tuned with me and Paul during the week. You can find the podcast at BIOC Podcast on Twitter. Also, that's on Instagram as well. And also our YouTube channel is at BIOC Podcast. You can also find us on TikTok at BIOC Podcast. The only one that's different, you can go to Balls Not Court Podcast on Facebook. Give us a like, comment, shout there. We're also on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Windows, Anchor, Spotify.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
There you go. That's where you can find us. There we had Kevin here last week. So you also go to buymeacoffee.com/BIOC podcast and feel free to donate anything. So that way you can contribute to the podcast, help anything out with equipment, swag, gear to give out. So once again, we do want to thank you guys for always tuning in and checking us out. It's always been a pleasure to do this show. Always fun to have different guests such as Saul. He definitely can come back on, even though he's a crazy Knicks fan. So it's all love.
That's an understatement, bro. That's an understatement.
It's all love. It's all love. Paul, got anything else to add before we close this bad boy?
Man, R.I.P. to the legend Bobby Knight.
Yes,
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess.
That crazy man.
Yeah, throwing chairs, choking people, headbutting players. Whatever.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I guess in the world of sports, that's a big one. So R.I.P. to Bobby Knight.
Yeah, Bobby Knight.
Wherever he goes after this world, duck.
You stupid. All right, guys, closing this podcast. Saul Urena, Paul Mac, Cortez Paul, the Balls Not Court Podcast. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen.